Wassup Survivors? Welcome to D180, the horror movie podcast taking you on a ride. Thanks for riding with us. I am AJ.
And I'm Johnny.
And today we are doing, this is like our third Stephen King, because we've done Carrie, we've done The Mist, and so this is our third Stephen King.
Yesterday it was looking like the mist outside, for real, for real.
It had no, for the last few days it's been looking like the mist outside.
Too much. It was creepy.
You can't barely drive because like you try to drive, you don't know if it's another car on the end. Like it's just, ooh, take it away. So we're doing Pet Sematary. We are doing the original thanks to our good people over on Patreon who picked this one. If you guys want exclusive bonuses, you get to pick some episodes that we do, you get to pick some mini-sodes and things like that, you can head over to our Patreons where we have tiers as low as $3, and we're actually going to start putting some little freebies on our Patreon just so you can get a little taste if you got commitment issues, because we get it. We know how commitment is. Look, I can't even say it with a straight face, but we know how commitment issues are. Trust. It's a Libra and Sagittarius in the room. We know. It's okay.
Listen, because I am as flighty as they come.
This is the third movie in our lineup for the month of Return of the Sex. Oh, come on. Each movie this month involves someone coming back from the dead, and the results may vary. If you haven't, our last two episodes we did Tamara and Death Becomes Her, so check those episodes out. And next week we'll be doing Jennifer's Body to wrap it all up. So this movie is currently streaming on Netflix and Pluto. I was very shook when I saw this on Netflix.
I said, Alexa, play Pet Sematary. And it popped up and it said open on Netflix. I said, Netflix?
Because I'm not going to hold you, like Netflix every now and then will come through. And I don't know if I've ever seen Pet Sematary on Netflix. It might have been there before, but usually I see Pet Sematary on Prime. Usually that's where I see it. Or I want to say I just seen it somewhere else, but I'm not sure. But it'll definitely be on Prime, but it's not on Prime now. So there you go. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely make sure you get into it, because I'm letting you guys know after park recommendations, I'm probably going to spoil the movie before we even get anywhere close to the ride. So there you go. I mean, because of the type of movie this is, you can't talk about it without the spoilers. So, Netflix, Pluto, unless you got it, With that being said, let's get into
Park recommendations.
Park recommendations for this week. Okay, so I had to do a little digging for this movie because I asked a few people. I was like, if you were watching Pet Sematary and somebody said, give me a movie that's similar to this one, which one would you say? And this isn't my park recommendation, but Hereditary came up, and I was like, obviously can't use that one because we've covered it. But right. No, they do go, if you think about it, because they deal with grief. So they do kind of, so they kind of do match, so I can't argue there. But what I came up with was 1988, and I'm pretty sure that's the right year. I kind of like just pulled that. You know how I be doing. I'm pretty sure it's the right year. But 1988's Pumpkinhead. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
No, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
I want to say I watched it right before we went to Vegas last year. And I can't remember. I might have watched that on the plane when I watched Elvira too. But I know it was right around the time that we went to Vegas when I seen it. But
I remember you watching Elvira because you was laughing.
I was cracking up.
Meanwhile, I'm having a panic attack.
I'm sorry. I do this every time. Every time you bring it up, I'll be like, I'm so sorry. But yes, definitely, if you like this movie or if you are looking for something similar, check that one out. And my next one, this one was a no-brainer. Some of y'all might beat me up, and it's okay. We can fight. Check out the 2019 version of Pet Sematary. Now, I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying watch it. And you come up with your own opinions. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not like saying like it's a great remake. I'm not going up for it like I go up for Child's Play. Fight me. Survivors, if you have any park recommendations that fit today's ride, let us know on our Twitter. Okay, so look, the first time I seen this movie, it was 2019. Speaking of 2019. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I'm lying. It was before that. It was right before it. Once again, it was right before we moved. So it was 2018. And I was getting ready for audition season. I remember because AMC, for some reason, it wasn't October, but AMC was playing a whole bunch of Stephen King movies. Like they was playing Pet Sematary, they was playing Graveyard Shift, they was playing Cujo, just a whole bunch of Stephen King movies. I don't know why, but it was like the whole week. And I was like, ooh, I've never seen Pet Sematary, so now I can watch it. Watched it. I was like, oh, snap, because I'm not, okay, y'all don't beat me up. But I really thought this was going to be about pets.
What?
Like, I thought, like, pets were going to come out the ground and, like, you know, like...
I did too. Like, I'm not even
don't-
gonna lie. When I very first heard of this movie, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I've known that wasn't the case. But hearing the title, that's what I thought.
And that's kind of what, like, kept me away from the movie. But when I see the cover art, it would never be... Well, no, it would be the original one. I do remember seeing Pascal's face and then Church at the bottom. But you would see Church and then just, like, the cemetery. So I'm like, okay, is this about animals coming to fuck people up? I kind of don't have any interest in this. Like, I don't care.
Same.
But I don't know what it was that made me want to watch it. I can't remember. But I didn't have it spoiled for me, surprisingly. And when I watched it the first time, my mouth was on the ground. I think what it was I heard that this was the movie that scared Stephen King. And I was like, this scared you? And I watched it. No, I'm not saying it's not like, you know, I get it now, but that's what piqued my interest. I was like, let me watch this, because if this, Stephen, you sure? Okay.
So as we all know, this was my first watch. I can't even say that it was spoiled for me or not. Because I don't know if it was spoiled for me.
Right.
I just know that it wasn't about pets coming back from the dead. I don't know how I knew that. I just remember knew that. And then everybody talks about Gage all the time. So I was like going in, well, clearly this has something to do with Gage. So, but this is my first one.
As I mentioned earlier, this is our third Stephen King. So this started off as a book in 1983. And this movie is directed by Mary Lambert. Now, before I go too far with her, let's throw our hands up, survivors, and praise God for Tabitha. Because Stephen King shelved this book, right? Just like he did, you know, he threw away Carrie. He shelved this one. When he wrote it, he was like, yeah, no, this is too much. Like, Stephen, you have to have a limit, my guy, and this is too fucking much. And like,
there is no limit. The limit does not exist.
It's like, dude, have you seen the shit that you wrote?
The limit does not exist.
Like,
but you know, that makes the best things, you know, when the limit doesn't exist.
I agree. So Tabitha, she's seen it. She was like, no, sir, get your life, get it together. So he went and took it to a publisher. So Mary Lambert, video director, like never, this is the first movie she's done. She's directed like Whitney, Janet, Madonna videos, and now you doing a Stephen King. Girl, this is almost like Lee Janiak doing Honeymoon and then getting a trilogy, Fear Street. Like, damn. And then at the time, it was also a big deal because they've had female directors, but this was a female director doing a horror movie and doing a Stephen King horror movie at that, you know? So it was something special.
Right.
But before we get that, check this out. So when it was decided that they wanted to do Pet Sematary for like a movie, Stephen King wrote the script, right? And he rejected a lot of people that kind of wanted to do it, but it wasn't happening. Because honestly, it wasn't that many people that wanted to do it. A lot of people was like, I feel like the whole Stephen King movie thing, like, ain't nobody thinking about Stephen King movies no more. Like, that's a phase, it's over with. Now, here's the thing. George A. Romero, I don't know if you remember him, but that's the guy who did the original Dawn of the Dead, grandfather of the zombies. Yes, his birthday just passed a few days ago.
I saw.
So he originally was going to direct this. And when you think about it, because like we talked about in the first episode with Tamara when we were discussing the theme, technically coming back from the dead, that's in the zombie realm, that's right up his alley. And
Right.
I'm so curious what this movie would have looked like had it been George A. Romero. But the only reason he didn't do it was because, like I said, nobody was trying to put the script out. Like George was like, George and Steve, they besties. Okay. So they was like, yeah, like I got your back. Like when you ready, let me know. But because of the writer strike, the WGA strike, in 1988, no writers. So studios was like, okay, go into the vault, get the scripts that's done. Let's look through these scripts, blah, 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 blah. So there was an executive producer called Lisa, well, not called, her name is Lisa Duran. I went, oh,
They call me her. They call me sexy.
Hey, yo, that trend cracks me up because, not to be shady, but you can tell who's had a bountiful career and who has not. Because some of them meets, some of them be super short, and I just be like,
Name. They used to be my song.
all the girls who have names that are often misspelled went up for that goddamn song. And I don't blame y'all.
That was
I
my
don't
jam.
blame you. That's
Used to
why
sing it
y'all
all the
loved
time.
it. It was a song for y'all, and I get it. Trust me. Trust me. So yeah, since the writer's strike happened, everything was on pause. They was looking for scripts. Lisa was trying to get Pet Sematary out, but every time she would say it, they like, no, girl, stop trying to make fetch happen. We not making fetch happen. Stop it. Finally, she just kept asking, and they finally did it. But by the time that happened, George wasn't available because he was shooting Monkey Shines, and that came out in 1988. By the time it was time for him to go for Pet Sematary, they was like, oh, no, we got reshoots. You need to come back and do this. So they found Mary, and here we go. But guess who could have directed this movie too?
Oh.
Tom Savini. I only say this because I wonder what the effects would have been like had Tom Savini did it. But
That's what I was thinking.
I found out, and I didn't know this. I knew this, but I guess I didn't realize it until it was said again when I did my research, because I watched the, I can't call the full name right now, but I want to say it's Unearthed and Unburied, The Road to Pet Sematary. There's a link down below if you guys want to watch the documentary, but I know I just jacked the title up. But do you remember David L. Anderson? Do you remember that name?
It sounds familiar.
Okay, so he also did the special effects for Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
Oh.
Remember we was talking about him? But that's Heather Langenkamp's boo. That's
Oh,
her
yeah.
husband. Yeah, so he did the effects, but this was a baby David. So he was still working with his daddy, Lance. So this was Lance's company. This was before David got on his own and blah, 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 blah. But he was dating Heather at the time. I don't think they was married yet. But yeah, so they did the effects. And the thing about it was they were nervous about Gage's effects. They wanted, because okay, I guess I got to press the button. Spoiler alert, guys. So if you haven't seen Pet Sematary yet, I advise you go. It's right there on Netflix. Like, that's the most accessible. I know y'all got somebody password. You ain't hear it from us, but I know you do. Go watch it. Come back. We're pressing the spoiler button in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Gage's effects when he comes back, they were scared. They was like, I don't want to traumatize this kid. Like, you see how Pascal looks. You see how Rachel looked. Like, so they had the tools to do it, but they was just like, I do not want to fuck this kid. And like, he got hit by a truck. Like, I don't want to make him look like that. So they just ultimately decided not to just put that little blue vein on his head and leave it
Like,
there.
that was my whole thing. Like, the baby got hit by that truck. Did you not see how bloody them shoes were?
Okay, bloody shoes. Oh, is that the title of this episode? Did we find? This has been the first time in a minute that we found the title during the show. I like that. People gonna look at that and think we are assholes. But y'all gonna click on
Did you not see the shoes? That's the only thing that you saw was them bloody shoes.
Like, I just knew that poor baby. Okay.
I'm surprised they had an open casket.
Listen, on accident. For our cast, we have We have Dale Midkiff as Lewis Creed, but they originally wanted Bruce Campbell. Do you know who that is?
The name sounds familiar, but the face is
Yeah,
not popping up in my head.
Ash from the Evil
Okay.
Dead.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, I know the name, but the face, I'm not seeing the
Mm-hmm.
face.
No, you're getting better. No, you're getting better. You be calling people. So yeah, I know that Dale Midkiff got picked off his looks. Because Dale
Yeah.
Midkiff in the 80s, because girl, this is one scene in the movie. So you know the scene where Pascal wakes him up in the middle of the night and takes him through the Pet Sematary.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, they originally shot that in just boxers, and they was like, this is too much. First of all, no, it wasn't. We always got to see titties while we. Why did you do that? Like, come on. They gave us the bathtub scene though.
They
So
did.
I guess that, but no, don't be taking stuff, because that's how I felt. And spoiler alert for Candyman, but it's not a real spoiler alert. That's how I felt when we watched Candyman. I felt like we got cheated out of a lot of yaya shots. Like,
Yeah, we did.
we did. You ain't see nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. I was very upset. So if y'all wanted to know for Sugar Man, you don't see none of yaya.
Nope.
Well, okay, you see some, but it's not what you want to see. But I was so mad. Anyway, the amazing late Fred Gwynn as Judd Crandall. First of all, let's talk about him for a second. I didn't know this, and once again, until I watched the documentary, he had a kid that drowned at the age of 10,
Aww.
right before he did this movie.
Aww.
So when you think about that, like him knowing the context of the script and having gone through that, that's wild, because he's one of the stronger actors in this movie, in my opinion. But just knowing, like, in the back of his head, he's probably using that in his character, but that's a lot to bury. Like, not bury. That's not the word I wanted to use, but that's just a lot to
That's sad.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary fought for him. Mary fought for a lot of people in this cast, but they were trying to replace him. I can't remember with who, but she was like, no, I want him. Like, make it work. They thought that he wasn't going to be, like, right for Judd because, you know, he plays in the Monsters. So they was like, people gonna laugh when
That's
they
why
see
he
him.
looks like so familiar. I couldn't place his
It just
face.
clicked for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's her, man. But they thought he was going to be too silly. And Mary was like, no, trust me. Like, he's going to be fine. You got Denise Crosby as Rachel Creed, aka Tasha Yar from Star Trek, for those people who watch that show, if you were trying to figure out where you knew her from. Then you have Miko Hughes as Gage Creed. I'm just saying, Miko follows us.
Hey.
I don't know if he listens, but he follows us. So, you know, hey Miko, if you are listening, hi. So this was his first role. He was a baby. This role was supposed to be played by twins. And he is so stinking cute. And that's exactly how he got this role. So this role is supposed to be meant for twins, because, you know, child labor laws, usually when they do movies with babies or kids, they use twins. And Mary was like, no, he can speak. Like, you ask him to say anything, he says it. You ask him to do anything, he just does it multiple times. And he's so stinking cute. I was like, yes, Mary, you better fight for your actors, because usually that don't happen like that. But
So cute.
then you have Blaze and Bo Berdal as Ellie Creed. Now, the funny thing about these twins is this role was meant to play, like, it was supposed to be opposite of Miko. So they was really just looking for one girl, but they ended up finding twins for this role. But what ended up happening is Blaze, if you look at the credits, Blaze is credited as Ellie Creed, and then Bo is Ellie Creed 2. But I think it's because, like, Bo didn't really do too much. I think she did like 1 or 2 scenes because she didn't really want to do it. Can you imagine that, like, growing up and you learn that you was like in a movie and your parents be like, yeah, girl, you was acting weird, you didn't want to do it, so Sissy did it. We have Brad Greenquist as Victor Pascal. Church, played by 7 different cats trained to perform individual things. So they had a cat that climbed up the tree, they had a cat that growled, they had a cat that jumped. The hardest thing in this whole movie, guess what the hardest thing was that they needed the cat to do?
To eat food.
Yes. to eat
I
that damn
figured
pork chop.
I figured that because cats are very picky about their food.
That's why I don't deal with cats. And it's not that I don't hate cats. It's just that
I don't
I'm
like
just
them.
no. I don't think I know. I don't think I would have a pet cat. I don't see
No.
myself. I'm a dog girl all the way, but no shade. Andrew Hubasek as Zelda, obviously at the time. This is an 18-year-old boy, an 18-year-old thin boy playing a sick girl, and because they casted 13-year-old girls, and they was just like
Seriously, that was
none
a
of
boy.
them. Yeah,
Oh shit.
I know, right? They cast it, well, not cast it, but when they were casting, they were scouting 13-year-old girls and the requirements that they have when they do certain roles. But they said all of them just looked so innocent and sweet. Like no matter how thin they were, because when they do auditions, they'll say like if it's a certain role, you need to fit a certain criteria.
Yeah.
None of them fitted. So she was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a boy play it. An 18-year-old boy that's just super thin, jawline just sunken in, and we'll just like put makeup on him. The makeup was wild. 6 hours plus putting the makeup on. So that's the face and the spine. That's all makeup, like prosthetics, all of that. Then they did all of Zelda's scene just because it was so much to put the makeup on. All of Zelda's scenes were done in one day. And had to keep, and they said like Andrew said that the makeup like under it, like you just felt it like constricting. Like he just felt like it was becoming like a part of his face. It was
Oh,
like
no.
just hard to maneuver. I could imagine, like that's crazy. Guess how long it took to take that shit off?
Even longer.
8 hours. Because of the adhesive was like sticking to everything. Can't just. It wasn't like Freddy's mask where he could just like rip pieces off and da 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 da. No, it wasn't like that. Last to round out our cast, we have Susan Blumert as Missy Dandridge. Okay, look, real quick. I know a lot of people say her part is irrelevant to the movie, and I can see, but I like to argue, but we'll do it later. During the documentary, during her part in the movie, when she unalized herself, her sister was in the theater watching it, right? And her sister called her when she left and was telling her like what she thought about the movie. She was like, I was in the theater, and when your part came on and you was about to jump, it was some kids that was like, jump, bitch. What? And it's so messed up because
in 1989. See that now, but in 89, oh my gosh.
Oh, when I say I was on the floor cracking up because I was not expecting her to. I'm thinking like she's gonna say the crowd was moved by my performance, not no damn jump, bitch.
Oh no.
It's more messed up because when she's describing the scene, she said that she kind of used a little bit of her own experience because her mom had passed away from sickness. So and when you watch the scene, she's saying, I'm going home to mama. Like she's repeating it before she like jumps off. And she was like, I put so much into that scene and that happened. I was like, that's messed up. Last thing for the cast, many of the extras such as Baby Rachel, the speeding truck driver, all that were just citizens of Maine.
I can see that.
Because Stephen King said that this has to be shot in Maine. The majority, not all, of his works are placed in Maine. But he was like, yeah, no, this has to be filmed in Maine. And the house that they filmed it in is still there.
Interesting. Does anyone live there?
Yeah. So they had
I
like
live there.
most of the time when they do when they get houses, they just like talk to the people that live there. They like pay them some sort of money or some sort of deal, like don't be breaking shit, or at least let us take our shit out and then you can do whatever and blah 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 blah. Or just like how we saw in Dawn of the Dead, and I feel like that's the third time we done mentioned. Go listen to that episode.
Run my numbers up.
Okay, because Ruin Me is still #1, and I'm just confused.
Those are both my movies, so run both my movies up. How about that?
How are you? Well, Dawn of the Dead isn't even in the top 5 anymore.
What?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, what are y'all doing? Who is running the numbers up? Because y'all do I need to get up in here? But yeah, so when they were looking for the houses in Maine, they, it was crazy because the Creed's house and Judd's house literally were across the street from each other in real life. But Judd's house is actually fake. It's hella links down below, y'all. Y'all know how I do when I do these deep dives in my movies. It'd be like 20,000 links at the bottom. I have a video that shows every single location that was shot in Pet Sematary, how it looks today versus how it looks then. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. So Judd's house, they had a small house, which was the actual house. But the whole Victorian style setup, that's all fake. They built it in front of the house and it's like pushed out. It's super cool. So like I said, you can see that down at the bottom. And Rachel's family's house that was supposed to be in Chicago is not in Chicago. It's actually in Bellevue, Maine. And they said that was the most Chicago looking house they could find, which I'm not going to hold you. It does look like the Chicago house. I got cousins that stay in East Chicago and all them pictures on the wall, just like that, random sizes, just cluttered and brown.
That's what I'm about to do to this wall.
Mm-hmm. No, see, that's like, no, your wall don't look like their wall. Their wall was OC, especially when Rachel started tripping out and it started.
That's what I'm saying. That's what this wall going to look like. By the time I'm done with it, that's what this wall going to look like.
I'll wrap this up by saying that Stephen King was on the set like damn near every day. So this was actually the movie that he actually had a part in creating and writing. But he wasn't the type that was just like, no. He wasn't like, no shade, because we know I love little shady Jeffrey. But he wasn't like Jeffrey Reddick that was like, no, I wrote this, so why are you doing this? No, honey, that's not it. But I just wanted to say, I know I mentioned earlier that this is the movie that scared Stephen, but it's because it really did draw from his real life. His daughter had a cat named Smucky that actually got hit by a speeding truck. But then, to top it all off, one of his sons almost got creamed by a truck. Like, literally caught him at the last minute before it happened. And that's when he thought of writing. I got an interview down below of him, like, admitting this word for word, admitting how he came up with this movie. And he was just like, yeah, like, I just thought, like, that was the craziest thing, thinking about losing my kids. But also, when my daughter lost her cat, I was just thinking, like, damn, I don't think I'm going to tell her. I think I'm going to tell her the cat ran away or something. I don't think I could tell her cat died. So he and Tabitha talked about it, and Tabitha was like, well, I mean, she got to learn about death at some point, so might as well be this. And all of that turned into Pet Sematary. And he was just like, I just think people, when they see it, they might view it one way, but if you have children, you're going to view it another way. And I can honestly say that, because when I watched this movie, I did feel a way, but I know, like, once I have an actual crotch demon, it'll probably hit differently. What? You never heard like crotch fruit, crotch demon, spawn, angel baby. Different words, you know? Crotch fruit.
That sounds disgusting.
You know, that's just what you produce. Your produce.
That doesn't
I'm making it worse.
Yeah, it does not sound good.
Well, before I get more out of line, let's get in line for the cue. You like how I did that? Was that no? Okay. All right, let's go. Bye.
Step in line. Your number is near. Follow the signs. Your time is here.
This week for the cue line, we're going to switch it up a little bit. So usually, we play a little game. This week, we want you guys, especially if you're listening to Spotify, go down below where you can answer this question. And, maybe we can read some of your answers on the show. So this week, we just want to know about a pet that you would bury in the Pet Sematary. Now, remember, guys, there's a difference between the Pet Sematary and the Micmac burial ground. We talking about the Pet Sematary because, one, ain't nobody burying nothing in the Micmac burial ground. We not doing that. We Black. We just, no. Not at all. We're not doing that. So I will start first. I had a pet bunny, right? Now, this bunny had a funny story, right? It wasn't like a bunny you get from the store. No. This was a bunny me and my daddy just caught running around the block. Yeah. What? So I don't know. I don't ask. We caught it. And I think now that I'm older, I'm telling like the story from a 4-year-old Ashley lens and an adult perspective now. So get the rabbit. I'm excited. We got a little bag of iceberg lettuce. I'm feeding it. It's all cute. My dad has it in this cage. He's not letting me like hold it or anything because obviously it's a wild ass rabbit. But he's just like, just like drop the lettuce in there. You can feed it. The next day, I go to school. I come back. The rabbit is gone. Just like, where's my rabbit? I've been talking about this damn rabbit at school. I got a new pet. My parents tell me that they let the rabbit go because it didn't belong to us and it missed its family. Wouldn't you want somebody to return you back to your family if they took you away? And I said no. I was very upset. But it came out that my dad had took the rabbit out the cage because he was going to try to wash it and see if he can like get it, like, get shots and see if we can kind of like, I guess, domesticate the rabbit. I don't know how that was going to work. But when he let the rabbit out, the rabbit ran away and they think it got hit. They're not sure. The rabbit might have like ran. It just dashed away and they just like
never saw it again.
Yeah, they never seen it. But they heard a scream. Like our house is right next. Our house is like an alley connected. So people speed down the alley, but it's also a main street right there. Yeah. So my dad said that when the rabbit ran away, he heard like a tire screech. So he don't know if it got hit or like did it get avoided, like, So, I say this to say I would put my little bunny in the pet cemetery because you didn't have to go out like that. Like you could have just stayed around. I would have took good care of you.
For me, I am not putting an animal in the pet cemetery because that means that I would have to bury said animal, and I don't touch dead things. So I'm gonna do what we always do, and we call the people to come collect the animal once it's dead, and that's the end of that.
I have to say this. I picked up my dead cat. Oh my God. Wow, I didn't even think about that till now. My mom had a cat named Amy that was in the family since she was a little girl. I think I was 12, maybe. And at this point, Amy like was blind, couldn't hear. Like Amy was on her way out, but she was fighting. Like she was a melanin soldier. Amy would get out the yard, but Amy ended up getting hit. Literally on the road I was just talking about with the bunny. Is my life that cemetery? I hope not. Anyway, Amy got hit. And someone told us that our cat got hit. And I ran out in the street because it was my mom's cat. I ran out in the street. Amy is bloody. And I picked the cat up and didn't think twice about it and carried it. It's blood all on me. I didn't think twice about it. I'm sitting here thinking about it because you just say you don't pick up dead things. And I really did pick up this cat and brought it home to my dad. I was like, yeah, get the Amy. Damn, I was wild.
The extent of me touching anything that's dead, you already got to be in the casket, and I may touch your hand or like fix a collar or something because I've done that to family members. But no, like when my guinea pig died, we were gone. Guinea pigs kind of like tell you when they about to die. They start squeaking weirder than their normal squeak. So we were gone all day at church, and then when we came back, she was dead in the cage. And my dad just called. Either he threw her outside or he called somebody to come get it. I don't know. And then my grandparents' very last dog they had before they got this one, German Shepherd. And one day Papa just came upstairs and I was staying there. He was like, yeah, Ty's dead. I'm like, what? They're like, Ty's dead. And then I was like, stop lying, Robert. So you run downstairs and look in the garage, and he, sure enough, was laid there dead. Had worms coming out his nose and shit.
Ooh, oh no.
So my grandfather called the city, and then they came to pick him up the next day. So yeah, we call in the peoples. We're not burying.
Survivors, tell us your story time, your pet trauma tales down below or on Twitter or wherever you want. You can hit us up on the DMs and IG. And if we get some juicy ones, we will read them. If you want us to share with the other survivors, we sure will. Just let us know. But in the meantime, it is our time. Let's get into 1989's Pet Sematary.
What is this place?
I brought you here to bury Alan's cat.
Daddy, is church all right?
Why, Judd?
I had my reasons.
I dreamed he got hit by a car and you and Mr. Crandall buried him in the Pet Sematary.
What did we do tonight, Judd?
What we did, Lois, was a secret.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Has anyone ever buried a person up there?
May the Lord make his face to shine upon you.
You're thinking thoughts best not thought of.
Daddy's gonna do something really bad.
You're thinking of putting them up there. Don't deny the thought hadn't crossed your mind.
Come back to me, Gage. Come back to us.
Paramount Pictures presents Stephen King's all-time best-selling tale of horror, Pet Sematary.
Ooh, trailer. I have to be honest. I thought I'd seen this trailer before, but I haven't. And now that I've seen it, I got arguments. I have arguments. First things first, I have to ask. You haven't seen the remake yet.
No.
Okay. So I'm not going to spoil it, but what I am going to do, I'm just going to say this right now. My patrons, we going to talk. So if you survivors want to be a part of this conversation, you want to know what the fuck I'm talking about, we got to go on Patreon because I don't want to spoil the movie for John A, but you can kind of get the gist of what I'm about to say with this. Not y'all spoiling the biggest part of the movie.
Yeah.
Now, if you know where I'm getting at, you know where I'm getting at, but I don't want to do that because Johnny ain't seen the 2019 one, but she could probably put shit together by what I'm saying. But, yeah, it was a way to do this commercial without spoiling that because I seen this movie without knowing anything. So when it happens, I was completely shook. And once again, I feel like this differs from the Carrie trailer. Because with the Carrie trailer, you're seeing everything unfold. And then once the shit goes to shit, you like, well, damn, yeah, sis had a point. But with this, it's just like, oh, wait a minute. So it's not about pets. So we got that out the way. But now we know that this person is out. But I guess, honestly, Pet Sematary is really about the journey of grief. So knowing that Gage dies isn't really... It's a spoiler, but it's not like, I guess it wasn't supposed to be the big thing. But when you think about it, it is the big thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
thought the trailer was all over the place, but it served its purpose.
Yeah, it is kind of, it does go like, bloop, bloop. Now we in this part, it does kind of like bounce back and forth. But let's go right ahead and get into it. Remember, guys, I know a lot of y'all be telling us like, while we be talking, y'all be talking to us. We love when you like DM us and be like, oh, I agree with what John A said. Because John A, you
y'all be agreeing with me.
No, wait a minute now. Hold your horses. I was about to say you and Cody have the same cheese eating habits. So when you go on your rants to survivors, okay, but yes, what I was saying was if there are any points that you agree with, yeah, like let us know. Like we love that.
Agrees with me and how I eat cheese.
Like we love stuff like that. So definitely interact with us. You can do it on our Twitter, in the DMs, on IG, whatever. We don't care. Do some, you got it. Here we go. The Creed family, Louis, Rachel, and their children, Ellie and Gage, and their pet cat, Church, moved from Chicago to rural Ludlow, Maine, after Louis accepts a job as a physician with the University of Maine. Before they can even get in the door, they meet their neighbor, Judd Crandall, who later tells Louis about the isolated pet cemetery in the forest behind the Creed's new home. Time out. Let's talk about this girl, Ellie. Girl, y'all ain't even been there 5 minutes and you wrecking shit already.
Right?
And it was funny because when she was on the tire swing and she falls, the camera cuts to Miko and Miko just makes this face while she's screaming like, girl, always trying to get some damn attention. And his little diaper and them little thighs. He was just so cute, little cute baby. Oh my God, I can't help it. Y'all know how, like, don't act like y'all don't get dumb when you see a cute baby. Just all your sense go out the window. Y'all know how it is.
It's their defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm. Also, I have a problem. I'm not leaving my baby on the ground to go check on my other baby. We all going to go check on each other. Why would you leave him there?
There were a lot of parenting decisions that did not make sense in this movie, but again, I'm not a parent, so who am I to say? But common sense. But then again, common sense ain't all that
But well,
common.
on top of that, I do have to admit from my adventures in auntying and babysitting, sometimes you do trust the kid because you're like, okay, well, I know my kid not gonna run off, but still,
But do you know your kid not gonna run off?
exactly. We in a new
Because if my kids
place.
are anything like me, I would fully expect my child to run off because I run off.
This would be my thing. We're in a brand new place. So, like you said, I would fully expect my kid to. Now, if we're in a familiar setting and I know my kid, like, okay, we in the basement. My kid is scared of the basement. They finna be right under me shadow. Okay, cool. I'm not about to pay attention. If we in a new place and it's all this newness around us, of course my toddler is going to roam. I know this. Just like you said, I agree. When I first watched this and we see Judd for the first time, I just knew he was evil. I was like, this nigga did it.
I didn't think that he was evil. I just thought that he was sketchy and that his house needed a power wash.
Damn. I have a funny story about that house and power washing, but we'll come back to. I don't know if you realize, but I'll just throw this out there now. In the book, and I'm not going to be one of those people that like, well, in the book, because one, I didn't even read the damn book, but I'm just so familiar that I damn near know the book.
That's how I am with 50 Shades of Grey.
There's a Wendigo. So the Wendigo is this mythical creature. I'll show you guys a picture of it. I'll post a link or something. Wendigo basically is linked with the cause of like what the fuck is going on. Got mind control over these niggas, be making them do shit. Boom, there you go. But it's not in the movie, obviously. But it is in the movie because I don't know if you can hear, but when Ellie is on a tire swing and she's looking out at the path, you can hear this sound. And you hear it throughout the movie a couple of times, and I'll bring it up, but that's supposed to be the Wendigo. Last couple of things before we move on. We meet Missy, which is the maid. We find out that
who look underworked and overworked and underpaid.
Oh, baby. She's just over it. I know she over it. I know she talks shit at every second she get and don't care who in front of her. Actually, we know this to be true. Yeah, we know this to be true because Ellie be repeating everything. I'll be like, girl, stop repeating shit. Damn. Also, like that Rachel calls Lewis Doc. I don't know for sure, but Danny from The Shining, his nickname is Doc. So that's Stephen King. I don't know if they're correlated or not, but it could be. I just thought it was cute. The next day or something like that, Judd takes the Creed family to the Pet Sematary. Now, remember before, Judd and Lewis had a little one-on-one the first night they came in, late night, and Judd was telling Lewis about the Pet Sematary, and all the goings on was happening in the mythical things. Like Judd said before, it's covered in gravestones. Rachel isn't too happy about this whole situation and voices her opinion on how this isn't right. Judd says the kids have to learn about death at some point, but Rachel ain't trying to hear that noise. As Judd tells Ellie the gravesite is for remembrance, it leaves Ellie with hella questions that Lewis and Rachel have to answer later. Let's talk about Rachel's aversion to death because, I'm not going to stunt. I got thanatophobia too. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's the fear of death. Like my own demise, that fucking freaks me out. Because I don't know. I just don't know what the fuck happens. I don't care to talk about it, but I don't want to be like Rachel because I do agree with Judd that you got to learn about it. Like, at least I'm aware that this is going to happen. I'm not just freaking out at every curve like I used to, but this is a lot. As soon as she walks into the Pet Sematary, she's just like, oh no, why the fuck did you bring me here? Girl, you knew where we was going. We said what it was. What did you think you was about to see?
She got on my nerves this whole movie.
Rachel?
Yes. I did not care for her at all.
So Lewis and Ellie, they have a conversation about church dying because, she just got all this new info. Like we said, Ellie is a repeater and she is curious. So she's just like, so what's going to happen when church die, Daddy? Like, what's up with that? And her dad basically just starts talking about like, I don't think church is going to die, hon. Like, church might be here when you're in high school. I think we're going to be good. And even if, I think everything will be okay. He's trying his best to answer all of her questions, as he should. The following day, this is also, like I said, Ellie be repeating shit. I don't want church to get his nuts cut, Daddy. I also like their reaction because they're just like, no, wait a minute. Girl, that's funny as hell. But where the fuck did you hear this? Missy Dandridge.
But not her being disrespectful to God, though. I was like, he gonna snatch that cat.
Look, God can get his own cat. Girl, you might want to pull back just a little bit, maybe. I don't know. But I do bring this part up because Rachel, well, don't shilly shallys, Lewis. Give the girl a promise.
No, I don't blame him for being mad and not want to make promises. We don't make promises for things that are beyond our control.
Exactly. That's a big thing to make him promise. I agree wholeheartedly with you, Nay.
Like, no. That's why I was like, she got on my nerves this whole entire movie.
Yeah. Was she as annoying as Sarah from My Bloody? I don't think nobody has topped her yet. No. If you guys don't know
screaming
about Sarah, go back to the original My Bloody Valentine episode. And there you go.
Oh my God.
Lewis encounters Victor Pascal, a jogger who is fatally injured after being hit by a truck. He calls Lewis by name, warning him about the Pet Sematary before dying. That night, Pascal appears to Lewis as a ghost and leads him past the cemetery, warning him not to cross the barrier because the ground beyond is sour. Lewis awakens, assuming it was, a fucked up dream, but notices his feet are covered in dirt.
That's a hell of a first day.
I was thinking that too. Can you every time I go to work, I'm still working in the pool, guys. And some shifts I'm either in the water or I'm out the water. When I'm in the water, I'm not too concerned. But if something happens, since I am certified, I've taken the oath that I do have to help in some capacity, but it's not 100% my responsibility. So I feel a bit better. When I'm a deck supervisor, I am praying to God that shit don't go left. Please don't let these little kids be running and bust their head. Don't let nobody go under this water and drown, because I feel like all my training is going to go out the window. I'm not going to know what the fuck to do. And I passed the test. I didn't miss shit on the test. So I know what to do, but I just feel like as far as that goes, lifeguarding and stuff, I just feel like I'm not going to know where the AED pads go. I'm not going to even know where the crash bag is. I don't want to think about it. I've had a nosebleed happen while I was a deck supervisor and I knew what to do and it was fine. But anything else past that, I don't want to see it. Okay. I pray every time that I'm on deck that I'm just like, let these kids have some sense, Lord. Please just be with all of us. Thank you. And
it's like, if you're a doctor at a college, they're not equipped to handle that shit.
I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people are like, well, he didn't even do nothing but flash a flashlight in his eye. What the fuck else was he supposed to do?
He's out of college. I'm thinking about Brooks Health Center at South Carolina State University. It's set up literally like a doctor's office, or maybe a little bit more than that. So set up like an urgent care. So like you do have rooms and you do have like the little curtains just like they had, but they don't have equipment to handle someone with their brains showing.
Leaking.
Like, no. There's no IV drips. There's none of that. They will transfer you to Orangeburg Hospital.
And he even says that. He literally says we have to call a transfer. So I'm glad you picked that up.
That's what I'm saying. The most he can do is provide a prescription. I can look down your throat. I can maybe check you out for a pap smear. Like, your normal doctor's office things. But not brains leaking on a table.
Not at all. He literally did what he could do. I do want to talk about this little dream for a second. So Pascal says the soil of a man's heart is stonier. What he's actually telling him is a man grows what he can and tends to it. So basically, he's saying that a man's heart is harder to penetrate with love and emotion, but also how tough a man's heart is. So, because I feel like obviously that phrase runs with Lewis a lot through this movie, because he had a lot of hard decisions that he got to make. Especially because he's a doctor. So being a doctor or a physician, his first main concern is to intervene and help in some type of way. But now when you think about the movie, the battle is he can't let those inhibitions like take over. So if something happens, he has to like, as far as death goes, because Ellie's like, God could take it back if he wanted to. I'm surprised she ain't be like, Daddy, you a doctor, you can't do nothing about this. That don't work that way. That's a lot of pressure when you think about it. I mean, kids just be asking all types of fucking questions. They don't know.
Or do they?
Anyway, during Thanksgiving, the family is gone because check this out. Rachel's family, they don't like Lewis. It's a whole thing. We'll get into it later. Judd calls Lewis, letting him know that church was run down on the highway. Realizing Ellie will be devastated, Judd takes Lewis beyond the pet cemetery, deep into the woods, where they reach the Micmac burial ground. And hours later, after he makes Lewis bury him because you got to bury your own. Hours later, once they return, Judd instructs Lewis to not tell anyone about what they have done. He even repeats what Pascal says to Lewis, damn near word for word, giving him chills.
I had hella suspicions about Judd right when the cat got hit. Because first of all, I didn't think the cat really got hit.
Was it the way that they zoomed up on him? Because he just standing there in that winter coat, just standing there, and then the camera just zooms up on him. I was like, nigga, did you do this?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought that he killed the cat because it didn't look like the cat got hit. And if the cat was hit, wouldn't the cat still be in the road?
I think he picked him up. Or I don't know. I don't know why he brought him over there. But I can say this because I had the same sentiments as you. Because I was thinking, like I said, from jump, every time you see Judd, they give him these interesting close-ups and zooms like that. So it's like this looming presence. And he's already like over 6 feet tall as hell, But really what it is, it's the Micmac burial ground that's like, it has a hold on him. So it's making him, and he admits it later. He's like, I was in a trance. I don't know why I showed you that area. I knew what happens here and I did it anyway. I couldn't stop myself. But yeah, so basically that's what it is. That's because a lot of people was like, well, nigga, if you knew that was going to happen, why you take him there? He ain't had no control. That's why.
And then if I ended up waking up with dirty feet and you saying the same things that a crazy nigga in my dream who died in front of me said, I might listen to the dead nigga. Because it's too many coincidences.
You were literally told twice. Pascal said, don't make me tell you twice. And Pascal said, what? Don't. And what did you do?
Isn't that a meme? Bryson Stiller said don't, and y'all still doing
I should make one with Pascal. Pascal said don't. Look at you, Lewis. Look at you. We also hear the Wendigo again. First of all, Judd is sturdy. They said like in real life, Judd was really climbing. Sturdy, not 30.
Oh, I was like, huh?
No. You about to say, well, how old was everybody else?
Like, wait a minute.
No.
How he look like that at 30?
No, his hair actually was jet black. They had to keep dyeing it white.
That's fine, but I'm saying his face ain't look
no,
30.
Not the face. No. I said sturdy. But no, he was really climbing that path. So that path is real. Once again, y'all can see the link down below. He was really climbing it. No help, no nothing. That was all him. I'm like, oh.
Are the little formations and shit out there for real?
Okay. Everything is still there. Well, see they built it, so it's not real Micmac burial ground. The Pet Cemetery is not that one, but there is a real pet cemetery. So remember, I mentioned earlier that Stephen King, his house actually had a pet cemetery behind it, and Smucky is in it. So yeah, that's real, but the location down below is built. Your face, you do not be with the shits.
I don't. I do not. Like anything that has to do with like supernatural stuff and it being based in reality, I don't be with it. So I can go to like the camp, was it Camp Nobi Soak? I can never say the name. Up in New Jersey. I can go up there and do the whole Friday the 13th tour because it's a crazy mother. It's not like no supernatural elements that had any play.
Jason gets supernatural towards mid.
I'm talking about the original.
Okay, yeah.
the original, and at the camp. Nothing really happened at the camp for real, for real. So it's like I can deal with that. But when you start talking about like haunted houses and y'all using like real, like I have never been to the steps in DC. Why? Because that's creepy.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there either. I would. I just wouldn't go near the stairs.
I've driven past it.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, look, there's the stairs. And I was like, ugh. But I'm not about to be all up. No, I don't be with the shit at all.
Last thing I want to bring up before we jump back into it. Here's a scene where once they come back and Judd is like, don't tell what we did. Don't go snitching. He misses a phone call and he picks up and calls back and he's talking to Ellie. I want to address this really quick. So he's talking to Ellie. Mind you, he just buried her cat. The cat is dead. Ellie instantly asks about church. And I think she even says she had a dream that church got hit.
Mm-hmm.
And Lewis is just like shook, silent. So now Gage gets on the phone and Gage is like, I love you, Daddy. And Lewis isn't saying anything. Like Lewis is just quiet. Now I know a lot of people are like, you dick, say something. Why you ain't say nothing to Gage? I think people are missing what happened. This dude just buried his daughter's cat and had to sit there and tell that bold-faced ass lie to his daughter after she just said to him, I had a dream my cat died. Is my cat okay?
And that you buried the cat. Like you and so-and-so went and buried the cat.
Yeah. So she literally just called you out. Because here's the thing. We just gonna throw this out here right now. Ellie has The Shining. So if you've seen the Shining movie and you're familiar with that, she got the same thing that Danny Lloyd got. Mary Lambert says she doesn't know if she specifically did a good job of expressing that in the movie, but that's what that's supposed to be. So every time you hear Ellie saying, this is going to happen and da, 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 she's shining. She's psychic. So boom, there's that. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I was like, Ellie getting on my nerves, but her dreams be sounding like mine. Prophetic.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because she got on my nerves too. I'm sorry. I know she a kid actress and we not supposed to go in on the babies, but I was just like, girl, like, whew, this whining, you gotta stop. But yeah, y'all, I just want y'all to understand, like, I don't think he was ignoring Gage. I think he was just the fuck shook from what just happened because that's a lot to process. He probably ain't even hear Gage saying, I love you.
I felt bad because Gage was like, Daddy, I love you.
I know that little cute little voice. The next day, the reanimated church returns to the house. He now stinks, moves, it's not good. And is feisty. He got all the smoke for Lewis, okay? You thought he had smoke before? Bitch, it's on sight. Judd explains that as a boy, he revived his pet dog, Spot. And although the cat might be different, it will save Ellie from the grief of losing her pet. Lewis asks Judd if a person was ever buried up there, and Judd damn near loses his shit and is like, no, why? No.
I'd lose my shit too, because you playing with fire.
Well, speaking of, we get a flashback, right, of Judd's little dog, and this is where I brought up the house. So Judd has been in this house all his life, right? Grew up in this house, is still in this house. And you see that the house is clean in the flashback, right? When they filmed the movie, they started with the house dirty. And Mary Lambert was like, oh, we never filmed the flashback. We have to clean the house. Well, let's shoot it tomorrow. Boom. So the crew was like, damn, we got to clean this house by tomorrow. It made me think of this meme. I gotta figure out how to get this money by tomorrow. Huh? I gotta figure out, huh? Okay, but no, for real. So yeah, they had to clean the house by tomorrow. And they power washed and cleaned and just did all that for Mary to only tape a corner of the goddamn house. When you see the flashback, only a corner of the house is in it. Do you know how they were so pissed? And then had to dirty it back up for the rest of the movie. They were so mad.
No, I'd been like, could we wait until?
Right, just wait till. Well, no, because they set it on fire, so they couldn't.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that later too. The little boy who plays Baby Judd, God bless his heart. So when he walks out, he's supposed to say Spot. He kept saying Judd, which is his character's name. They say he did it like a good 8-9 times. before they had to just stop and be like, look, please get it together. Also, before we move on, there's a scene that we was talking about earlier where we actually do see Dale Midkiff with his shirt off. And he gets in the tub. I would lose my shit if my cat.
If a rat.
Not only did
That's disgusting.
Church throw the rat into the tub, when Lewis threw the rat out the tub, he stepped on it later. My soul would have left my body. I would have been right on the floor next to the rat.
It's disgusting. No. Rat was dead, bloody at that. Like,
and it been like that for a minute because it was heavy. Because when it landed, it was just like. Denise and the children returned from Chicago with Ellie telling Lewis about a dream she had about Church getting hit. Hold on, wait, because we mentioned it. Oh, wait, did she say it again? I think she did. Okay. Denise and the children returned from Chicago with Ellie reminding Lewis about the dream that she had about Church getting hit. Assuring her nothing is wrong, they go home, but Ellie notices that Church smells awful. Meanwhile, Missy writes a letter about her final moments before unaliving herself. So, we can get a Stephen King cameo because he's the priest at her funeral. And so Ellie can ask her dad what happens after humans die. Now, remember earlier we saw Rachel has issues with death, but later Rachel addresses the situation, admitting that she's just afraid and knowingly defensive about death. This is when we learn about her sister Zelda. So time out real quick. I did like the conversation that Lewis had with Ellie because he's like, a lot of people believe in a lot of different things. It just depends on what you want to believe happens when you die, and you can believe in that. And I think that's a fair and decent answer for a kid.
Yeah.
Because, it's not like you, as Rachel would say, you're not shilly-shallying, but, it's an honest answer. Like, if you want to believe nothing happens, then there's that. If you want to believe in reincarnation, there's that. If you want to believe you go to the prettiest place that you could think of, there's that. I don't have a problem with that. But Rachel, soon as Ellie didn't even finish answering the question and Rachel was on 10. Tears was already falling down her face. I'm like, girl.
Don't like her.
So back to Zelda. Zelda was Rachel's older sister who suffered from spinal meningitis. Rachel was left alone to feed and care for Zelda, but Zelda started to choke. Rachel, unaware of what to do because, she was fucking 8 at the time. She didn't know what to do. She just ran out the house screaming, but the scream started to turn into laughter as the burden that was known as Zelda was lifted. This whole scene, a lot of people, I would say a lot of Gen X, early millennials, they say when they seen this movie when they was kids, it really effed them up. And I can see how, because Zelda is unsettling. I'm not going to hold you.
I was saying her like, so is that an over exaggerated caricature of the sister?
That's her. And like once you get sick in that way, they wanted her to be frail. So,
Yes, but like it really was horror movie-ish versus like someone that's actually sick. Like the back and stuff, yes. The face. That's what it was for me. The face.
Yeah. And like, think about it. Like, if I got super skinny and you've seen me like real skinny, you see how I'm like you see all of my, I got high cheekbones. You see all of that. Like, it looks. I pulled down my eyelids out. But yeah, no, I can imagine. Like, think of Deborah Logan, how her face was looking. That was makeup. Just think of how her face was looking when they was depicting how she looked sick. Like, it gets crazy.
She ain't look like that.
Well, also that's a man too. So we gotta, that's what they wanted. Because it wasn't gonna, if it was a female, it wasn't gonna work like that because our features are so delicate. But with a man, you would have to get a female that has like immaculate bone structure, and that's the end.
Still creepy.
A few days later, the family is out enjoying a picnic with Judd. While flying a kite, everyone is distracted by Ellie's potty mouth, Jesus, as Gage wanders into the street and is killed by a speeding Orenco truck along the same highway as Church. This scene is too effing much. And it's like, once again, I know I keep saying this and y'all tired of me, but every time I watch it, it's just like Carrie, that I'm just like, why didn't you pick the baby up? As soon as the little kite thing dropped out of his hand, like, why didn't you just go get it? Like, what was happening? And Lewis was so close to catching him, but he tripped. And I just know that he was just like, oh, his little shoe.
Bloody shoes. So sad. And it's crazy because I knew, like, even though I didn't really know, but the way the movie was going, I knew that Gage was going to die. But it was just like, damn, he was so cute.
I know. I cannot deal. So a little bit later, Judd also has a conversation with Ellie, because right as it happens, you know, and I think they do a decent job of like just showing how impactful this was, because you see all those cute little pictures of Gage with the family. I thought they did that pretty well too. You know, usually I be on people's heads about photos in horror movies because it's like, I can tell y'all just took this, but I like that they had a younger baby and a younger little girl taking pictures with Dale Midkiff and Denise. So it looked like they actually had these babies. That was smart to do. So Judd has this little conversation with Ellie. Ellie she doesn't know about church, right? Missy just happened and Gage just happened, right? And I didn't even mention that Rachel didn't even go to Missy's funeral because she was throwing up the whole time. She couldn't even take it. So just imagine, we don't even see her in this scene. Like, Ellie was like, I can't sleep in a room with mommy because it's just too much. She's still in covers and shit. Like, it's down bad. So she's carrying this picture of her and Gage in a wagon, and Judd is just like, you know, like, I know you miss your brother, trying to comfort her. And Ellie's like, yeah, I'm just going to hold this picture until God brings Gage back because he can do that. And Judd is like, yeah, no, sis, it don't work like that. And Ellie's like, bitch, yeah, dude, my daddy just said I could believe in that. But see, like, how do you have that conversation, you know?
But that's, you just gotta tell people. You just gotta tell people, like, they dead. They're not coming back.
Yeah, but
like
how
Lion
do
King.
you get a child to understand that? Like, your
Lion
little
King.
brother is like this.
Lion King.
I mean, I'm obviously, I got it tatted on me. I'm for that. But I don't know. I mean, I guess we did a good job with that. Yeah, you're right. Because
that's what I'm saying. I would show Lion King and be like, remember how Simba lost his daddy and he ain't come back? Well,
I always tell people when somebody passes, you have a new star in the sky to follow you. I mean, not to follow you, to guide you. And basically, that's Lion King because, yeah. You know what? Let's just, we're just gonna put
start
that
showing kids Lion King.
Yeah. It's better than showing them My Girl.
Now that was a sad movie.
Ooh,
I don't know why my mother ever showed me that.
Why did I see that for the first time? Went to my mom. I was crying. I think she walked in. She was like, girl, why are you? I'm like, Thomas J needed his glasses, girl. Okay, let's get back to it. Gage's funeral, shit show. Erwin, and I'm saying your name like that. Erwin, what the fuck? Why would you do that? I know you don't like Lewis, but we got some decorum around these parts, okay?
I'm mad at the friend because how are you going to tell me to get a hold of myself when this dirty ass motherfucker to sit here and punch me at my baby funeral and then have the nerve to fall over the casket and almost damn near knock my son on the floor? No, he needed to get beat the fuck up, and you need to go sit your ass down because you don't need to tell me that I need to have some respect because it's my son's funeral. No, that motherfucker needs to have some respect because he come up in my face talking shit. No.
I couldn't have said that better myself. And with that being said,
because that really made me mad. That made me so mad.
No, it upset me because I'm like, and then you gonna call me a son of a bitch? Her crying pissed me off.
She got her this whole goddamn movie.
Her crying really did piss me off. I did not like her crying in this scene, but I was just like, Erwin called him a son of a bitch. He was like, you son of a bitch, you have no right. Who? You just caused all this pandemonium at my little sweet baby angel's funeral. Are you kidding me?
Knocked over the damn casket.
Are you kidding? No, no. Also, before we move on, just another episode of Church Want the Smoke. That part when Lewis takes Ellie to bed and then he goes to check on Rachel, she's just, she, first of all,
She's been drugged up forever.
it's her in the lingerie though. I'm like, she is drugged up, but she looks cute in her little lingerie. I know how I be having nights like that too, sis. I get it. You just don't want to feel nothing, but you want to feel sexy. I feel it. I know. But Church is laying on Rachel's stomach and his eyes are doing a little reflecty shit, which was cool how they did that. They did that all naturally. They just shined a light every time they just had the cat on screen.
Yeah.
But Church went straight for the face. Like, you get one time to scratch my face. Johnny, you know how I am about my face. If I ever got into a fight, that's the one thing. Do not touch my face. Do not pull my hair. Because, bitch, it's a wrap. Church, you would have been gone from that scratch on my face. No, absolutely not. I do like the progression of this film. So, like in the very beginning, when they first move in, we see Ellie go to bed and she literally doesn't have a bed. She's just like on the floor. But throughout the movie, you see the house get more full, like cardboard boxes are gone. They're starting to like actually live in the home. You can see that like time is passing. Mm-hmm. It's something you don't really notice unless you're like looking for it. But I do like how like it's just subtle. It's not like overdone. But anyway, Judd anticipates that Lewis is considering burying his son in the Micmac burial ground. Although Lewis is like, I wasn't thinking it. It's like that TikTok. I wasn't thinking about it. I did it.
He was thinking about it.
He was
definitely thinking about it.
Judd believes that the malevolent forces urged him to introduce Lewis to the burial ground and ultimately caused Gage's death. He tells him a story of a local named Bill Baderman who buried his son, Timmy Baderman, in the Micmac burial ground after he was killed in the World War II. Timmy returned as a just off the wall, zombie. Terrifying the townfolk. A group of men, including Judd, tried destroying Timmy by lighting the Baderman house on fire, only to find out that Bill was inside and he perished with his son. Judd insists that the burial ground is evil and Lewis must not bury Gage there.
Shit, I don't blame Timmy because Timmy was like, I don't want to be here and you brought me back. And nobody told you to bring me back.
So let me tell you this. And like I said,
he said, I hate living. I hate living. He said, I want to be dead again. I stink. I'm eating human flesh. Send me back.
Mm-hmm. One thing that they didn't do in the movie that happens in the book, when the dead, and spoiler for the book if you want to read it, but it doesn't matter. When the dead come back, they know everything. They got that payment shit. They know everything about everything. So when the dead come back, they're spilling the tea, honey. Like they like, yeah, your bitch was sleeping with him, da 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 da, and da 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 and da 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 da. But they didn't do it in this movie. But I'm just saying, I love a petty moment, and I think I would.
So that's exactly what What's the gonna be doing.
Who?
That's what Tamara did when she came back. She knew
everything. Okay, no bones in the closet. After the funeral, Rachel and Ellie leave for Chicago while Lewis remains home to take care of some loose ends, hint, hint. Ellie begs for her dad to come along, sensing that something is off. But despite her, Pascal, because Pascal comes back, and Judd's warnings, Lewis exhumes his son's body and buries him in the Micmac burial ground. First of all, time out. Erwin, don't be trying to fucking apologize to me.
Yeah, you could have shoved that apology up your ass.
I do like.
And kept it.
Lewis was like, we all lost our minds. Because Lewis was right, because he was like, yeah, I'm about to go dig up my kid. So you're right. It's about to get out of hand. Just keep that in mind. And the moment when he does dig up Gage and he's just holding him, I'm like, yeah, this dude lost it. That's it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's been a few days. The baby probably stink. Start some decaying.
Mm-hmm. In Chicago, Pascal appears to Ellie in a dream and warns her that Lewis is about to do something terrible. Rachel is just unnerved by her daughter's dream, but can only reach Judd when she tries to reach Lewis, who tells her, Lewis ain't home, but, if he comes around, I'll holla. She decides immediately to return to Maine instantly prompting Judd to be on high alert. Rachel, your mama annoying. He probably just went out for a hamburger or a chicken dinner. Girl.
This late?
But okay, you know
The
what?
sun-
I can't stunt because I definitely be down for a late night Wawa trip. But still, this is the part where Ellie's acting gets me the most. Before his soul did I can't remember. I'm like, girl.
Oh my gosh, shut the fuck
Apparently, I
up.
don't know what scene it was, but one of the scenes she wasn't sad enough, and Mary Lambert was like, "Think of the saddest thing that ever happened to you, and just be sad, girl." She still ain't do it. So Mary Lambert was like, "Hey, yo, I will give you more money if you can just be sad, please." And she did it. Girl, that's all you had to say in the first place. Why you didn't say that?
Oh my gosh.
Rachel, in the midst of her madness, because you know she going fucking nuts, sees an apparition of her sister warning that she and Gage are coming for her. But this all turns out to be a dream, as Rachel is just at this point rushing back home with the help of the angel Pascal. First of all, this dream. So let me do this because I know a lot of people just be like, "What the fuck is this?" So when the dream first starts, you see all the pictures in the Chicago home are just all over the fucking place. They're just shoveled, right? The only picture that isn't touched is that one painting that has like the little baby in it with the blue dress, the top hat, and the cat. So we know that this is Zelda in church, right? Keep that in mind. Boom. You know who that is. Rachel walks into her room. You see Zelda, and Zelda's just sitting right there. And you're just like, what is happening? What is going on? Bitch, no. And see, this is why Rachel be a wreck all the time. She probably be seeing Zelda every fucking day of her life.
Still don't like her.
Also, like that Pascal was just like hypnotizing everybody. I can't remember it word for word, but I know when she tries to get on the airplane, the flight attendant is trying to close the door. He's like, "Don't do that,
He said,
baby."
yeah, he was like, babe, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, babe. I was like, what? What about the Aries K? I have an Aries K, but it has a scratch on it. Girl, fuck that scratch. You know it's a scratch, so just write that it got a scratch so they don't say nothing when I return it. Anyway.
That was a big ass scratch.
Girl.
That wasn't even a scratch. That was like someone keyed the car. Better yet, it looked like it got damaged from the tires in the Grease movie.
Oh shit. That night, a reanimated Gage returns home and steals a scalpel from his father's bag. He haunts Judd before slashing his Achilles tendon and his mouth before biting his throat, killing him. Rachel returns home and is lured into Judd's house by the voice and specter of her dead sister, Zelda, only to realize that it's not Zelda, it's actually Gage holding a scalpel. In shock and disbelief, Rachel reaches down to hug her son before he kills her. Okay, time out. Because Judd walking around that house, Gage, I brought you something. And he takes something else. Like, well, damn, not you got any heat for the kid.
I mean, he already did.
It was a pocket knife, so it's not heat, but still got the steel for him.
Say he already did. He already know what happens when they come back out that cemetery.
This is true. This is called being smart.
But what he didn't expect was because he that small, they don't come for the ankles.
Because see, this is the thing. He got tag team because Church came out of nowhere. Church, why are you at Judd's house? Why are you here? Church came out of nowhere and distracted Judd. And Judd was like, what the fuck? Why is you here? And that's how Gage slipped him for the okie doke. That's how all that. I'm like, damn, this did not have to happen like this. So you know when they used a little dummy to like bite down on his neck?
Shit look weird.
Yeah. Because at first, when you first see it, it's Gage doing it. And they actually trained him to do it. So they said, like, you know how you like play fight with little kids? They'd be like, okay, let's fight. Like they would do that with Gage. They'd be like, okay, let's play fight. But they would teach him to like bite his neck. So when they did it in the scene, you know, Judd had to like react to it. And when he started reacting to it, he never did that when they would like play the game. And it really scared Miko. And they like had to stop filming for a little bit because he wouldn't stop crying. I was like, oh. They said, yeah, that's when they knew, like, okay, yeah, we can't be doing too much. Like, we thought he was gonna be cool, but that ain't gonna.
No.
So this is the part where also we see Gage in a little blue dress and the top hat, and Rachel was just like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" Like, I just saw Zelda announcing Gage. What the fuck is happening? Basically, when she saw Zelda, like I said, it was Gage. He morphed. Gage is wearing what Zelda has on in the picture. Boom, there you go. Church, Ace Boom Coon, right there. There you go. Also, don't like how Gage gonna steal Judd's line. I bought you something, mommy. Get your own line, kid. Thank you. Waking up from his sleep, dang, when he fell off of the bed and knocked his head into the counter, that
I'm just trying to figure out how you grabbed everything else but your head.
did not react to it at all. I'm like, Nick, I know he did that for real. That was not a stunt.
Like he grabbed everything but his head.
I would have
I
been
don't
like,
understand.
Lewis notices Gage's muddy footprints in the house and discovers his scalpel is missing. Receiving a phone call from Gage that he has, quote unquote, played with Judd and Mommy and now wants to play with you. I like when he says it like that. He fills 3 syringes with morphine and heads over to Judd's house. Time out, because his face, he was like, see, no. Because so many people say, like, they think Dale Midkiff's acting is terrible in this movie. I don't think so. I just think he's one of those, like, very chill people. And it's not until he literally is just pushed that he becomes, like, unnerved and more, like, into it. But even then, like, have you ever seen a chill person get mad? They still be really chill. They just, like, get a little louder. That's it.
Nah, I've seen a chill person get mad before, and I'm like, okay, you're a totally different person, and I don't know who you are right now, but I don't like this.
Right. Like, yeah, but it's still just like you still see them, but it's not just like whole 180, you know?
I've seen 180s. It's quite scary.
Facing the first boss, Church, he kills the cat with an injection before entering the house. Okay, this fake ass cat. Because it was like all the other cats look good except for the one that was stuck like this when he stuck it in the ass with that syringe and the arms was just stuck like this. Like, I just wish it would have moved, like, tried to fight back just a little bit. That's all. That's all. The final boss, Gage, taunts him as soon as he steps a foot in Judd's house. Soon as he gets in there, the whole house is just decayed. Like, it's just gone to shit. And Lewis is like, what is happening? I know this house. I ain't been gone that long. It's literally been hours. Why did this look like this? He's looking around. He sees Rachel's shoe and goes over there. And as soon as he picks it up, everything goes back to normal. And Gage is like, scared you, didn't I? That was good, Daddy. You got to admit, that was good. I did a good job. Okay, let's play. Once Lewis gets upstairs, oh my God, Gage took playtime to a new level because he just drops Rachel's dangling body from the attic and then just drops his little flying doll body from the attic just to attack Lewis. This doll.
That doll was some
That
shit.
doll was terrible.
Okay.
Because so when you see the doll in the documentary, it was smaller than Miko. I think that was the one mistake. It needed to be a little bit bigger, and it probably would have helped if the limbs weren't stiff.
That too.
Like, it probably would have helped if it had limber limbs. Because it literally was just like, I know you guys can't see me, but I'm just standing like super stiff like a nutcracker. Like, that's all.
Like that meme of Summer Walker.
Oh yeah. After a brief battle, Lewis overpowers Gage and injects him with the morphine syringe, killing him again. He then lights Judd's house on fire, leaving it to burn as he carries Rachel's body from the fire. Pascal appears one final time, warning Lewis not to make it worse. But grief-stricken, Lewis believes that because Rachel had only been dead for a few hours, not as long as Gage was, burying her, quote unquote, will work this time. Pascal,
this motherfucker don't learn.
Pascal's like, nigga, dude, Do you not see this fucking burning house
Exactly.
behind us? Like, come on. As Lewis just walks right through him, taking Rachel past the pet cemetery. Timeout. Gage, I am so sorry, baby. His little eyes, when they got all big and start watering up, I was just like, oh, not fair. But when he fell and knocked his head, I was like, ooh, my bad, baby. Even though that wasn't him, it was a dog, but still, it looked real good. Like, however they did that, it looked really, really good because I was convinced. That night, or maybe a few days later, Rachel returns to Lewis and the couple embrace. And
Nah, that was the same night because the fire department still ain't come, and I was confused. Like, what type of
it
town
is
is
because
this?
you're right.
The house is still burning.
It is. So you do see it still burning. Rachel takes a large knife off the table, lifts it in the air. The screen cuts to black, and all we do is hear Lewis scream. Oh my God. First of all,
How can he kiss that?
he is gone. He gone, girl. And that's
That's
like, you
disgusting.
see how disgusting Rachel
How
and
can he
Victor
kiss
look.
that?
Just imagine what they could have done to Gage. Like, they could have, but I get why they didn't. And I respect them for not doing it. But I do want to point out, when Lewis is playing cards by himself, he pulls out a king, a queen, and a 2. And I feel like that was supposed to represent Judd, Rachel, and Gage. Don't ask me why. I just feel like that was supposed to be like that. But there were some alternate endings, not alternate,
He deserved to die.
but they had other endings here, right? So Stephen King wrote this one. Rachel was supposed to come home, find Lewis, and then the phone rings and it's Ellie calling, trying to see what's going on. Rachel answers, assuring Ellie that everything is okay, and then gives like a slow little smile as ooze just falls out her eye. And then it's supposed to be like a freeze frame. And the movie was going to end like that. I kind of like that. It's kind of fucked. Then another one was supposed to be Rachel comes home, finds Lewis, put her dirty hands on his shoulder, screen goes black, and no scream. Nope, he does scream, and that's it. I don't like that.
Is there any other one?
The one we got. Nope, just those 3. That's it.
Oh, well, then I like the one that they had.
I do like the one that they have. But I also, something about Ellie calling and her mom answering and Ellie not knowing, even though she knows, is scary. You know what I mean? Like, she know her mama dead. Like, she had a dream about it. But her mom's talking to her on the phone, so her mom's not dead. But she is, bitch. She just came. So it's like, oh, Jesus. Huh. Last thing, Mary Lambert wanted a sequel that followed Ellie, but the studio was like, we don't want female protagonists. No. And we got Pet Sematary 2 that has nothing to do with shit. We get a mention about the Creed family, and that's it.
That sucks.
Right. And that was Pet Sematary.
I'm actually glad that we didn't get a sequel about Ellie because
I think it would have been interesting because it would have been an older Ellie. She would have been a teenager, so it wouldn't have been the same.
As long as it was a different actress.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the same girl.
Baby.
Unless they waited a few years, but no, it would have been a different girl. So
Ellie was annoying.
Any final thoughts, grievances about Pet Sematary?
I don't know if I want to say this.
Not you holding back. When have you ever held back?
Because it's like, I don't know if, I mean, I liked it, but it's not like, oh my God, Pet Sematary.
Right. No, I understand.
It's just like,
trust me, I get it.
It's kind of, after I watched it, I was like, oh, that's it? That's how I felt.
I think this is one of those movies where if you didn't see it as a kid, especially when it came out, just as a kid in general, I can understand why you don't see it as everyone else seen it. Me personally, I think I'm just a Stephen King fan. So when I watched it, I was just like, okay, I can appreciate it for what it is, but I can also see the many flaws in it as well.
Yeah, I can appreciate it for what it is. It's just that it's just kind of just like, for me, it's something that I feel like has been overhyped. Like, oh my God, Pet Sematary. Oh my God, Pet Sematary. And just like watching it now, just kind of just like, okay. Now, I don't feel the same way about it as I do Blair Witch. But it's still just like, that's it. But I get it.
I
Maybe I might feel differently when I have some children. But if my kids die, they just dead. I'm not. No.
I was about to say I feel it, but then you said the last part, and I was like, I can't feel it because I just don't know. I mean, I really don't know how I react to that. You know, they always say parents shouldn't bury their kids. I hate when I hear that people do have to do that, and I don't want to personally experience it, but you know, I don't know what's written for me. But yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, and we both said this, I will have to see this again when I have kids because I do want to know if it will have a different effect on me. And it might. Y'all know me, I'm very impressionable. So
I mean, I'll probably be more sadder, but I would still be like, no, we're not bringing you back.
Yeah, I can
be laid out on Valium like the mama.
Rating.
Pet Sematary got a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, a 51% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 3.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and 83% of Google users, including me, liked this movie. Johnny, what do you rate Pet Sematary?
I gave it a 60.
Oh, I gave this movie an 80 because I did jump between 80 and 85, but I feel good giving this a solid 80 because like I said, I do want to see this once I do have children, just see if it does have a different effect. But I like what was done with this. Could more have been done? Yes, but for what they had to work with and everything that was going on, I do like the result that we got, and I really do. This is one movie that I do enjoy. So Survivors, if you want to let us know how many tickets you would give this one, you know, you can let us know on Twitter. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the souvenir shop because I actually thought of some shit this week.
Thanks for writing. Before you go, take a detour into the souvenir shop.
Okay, so hear me out. And I might have said this before, but it's okay. Because, you know, we love personalized things. And, you know, at D180, you can get stuff personalized on the spot. Not for real. Don't be coming to us asking for stuff. This is all a game. Like, y'all know we playing. Like, this is not an actual
It depends on what it is.
You know, some stuff we'll bring into you, but some stuff don't. Like,
it depends.
This, don't come asking for this because, child, I'm going to look at you like you're crazy. But personalized scalpels.
I can do this.
You can etch. You can hammer.
I can engrave. I have a Cricut, y'all. I can engrave shit. It may not be a real scalpel. It may have to be like aluminum or maybe like a thin piece of sheet metal. But I can do it.
My next souvenir, okay, you know the creepy Zelda picture with church. I think in our park we should hire some people. You know how they got caricatures? We should hire people to do these photos and put you in a weird ass outfit.
Or we can do like the old timey joint.
Yeah.
But just make them dress up as what's his face.
Yeah. And get a fake stuffed cat. There you go. Write that down. I think I'm gonna say no. I'm about to pull the audio and just let the audio say it, but I'm about to put that in their souvenir shop because that cracks me up. SpongeBob and Patrick are so effing funny. But with that being said, let's go and get into these park announcements. That was a good one. That was real good. That was 3 out of 4 for our theme, Return of the Sack.
Return of the Sack. Return of the Sack. Return of the Sack. You knew that I'd be back.
That's right. Make sure you guys tune in next week when we end this month with Jennifer's Body. We've been talking to, I think we literally have brought the movie up every episode this month. And we're finally going to talk about it. And we're probably not going to not stop talking about it once we get done, but that's okay. So, you know, you're going to get your whole little feel next week. We do got a special guest coming up.
Brittany. It's Brittany, bitch.
Brittany, bitch, is bringing her ass to the park for the 3rd time. Y'all know y'all love y'all some Brittany. So make sure y'all with us next week. And we're going to be revealing we revealing the March theme already. Did February just get up and go like that? Damn.
Oh my God!
Didn't I tell you guys? I don't know what episode that was, guys, but I think it was a January or it might have been a December episode. But mark my word, didn't I say April was gonna be knocking down the block like that? I said it, and Johnny was like, "No, it's not. No, it's not." I told you because look at that. That is fucking crazy. So yeah. So next week,
if I go missing 4 weeks. Sorry.
Well, not.
I'll still take my microphone, but
So next week, y'all, Jennifer's Body, new part guide coming up, new theme coming up, and this one, ooh, Jonna's pissed at me about it, but it's okay because it's all fun.
no, it's so funny. I was literally just talking to my auntie today on the phone about how much I do not like them.
Well, if you want to know what that is, you just gonna have to tune in next week, y'all. That was a small hint, kinda, vaguely.
I'm gonna be traumatized. My auntie talking about something. That was a good one too, because I told her we were watching Pet Sematary, and then I was telling her about one of the movies we were watching in March, and she was like, "Oh, that was a good one." And I'm like,
She has taste. She's a lady
care.
of taste. I love it. Well, survivors, we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
We'll see you soon.